Good morning, everyone. We are the fifth group to present and our topic is sensors and transducers. Next slide, please. So, sensors can be defined as an input device which provides an output with respect to a specific physical quantity, meaning it converts an input into electrical form. An example for a physical quantity are the temperature, pressure, force, motion, displacement, humidity, light, flow, and other more physical quantities that could be monitored. So, as these physical quantities are converted into electrical form, an example for that is the change in resistance, inductance, capacitance, and more. So, these are converted into current and voltage signals for measurement purposes. So, let's have an example. As we can see in the diagram, let's say our device is a thermocouple. This device is a type of sensor that is used to measure a temperature. The physical change in the diagram is temperature. The sensor in the center is the device, which is the thermocouple, and when the junction experiences a change in temperature, it converts the temperature into voltage. Bali, ang output nato is the voltage na if mutaas ang temperature, magkataas po ang voltage. So, another example na po, we have the RTD, which is also a sensor device. RTD is a resistance temperature detector. It is an electronic device used to determine the temperature by measuring the resistance. So, sa sulod ana na resistance nga supplyan nato og voltage. Kaya if na change in temperature, ma-detect na niya. So, if ma-change ang temperature, ma-change pud ang value sa resistance nga naa sa sulod ana niya. So, then, the input again is the temperature, the device is the RTD, and the output is the resistance. Pero that resistance will be converted into voltage para ma-monitor ang change sa temperature. Next slide. So next is the importance of sensors. Well, sensor is used in our everyday lives. We are surrounded by technology na bisan ang posting o nga naisuga kasagaran ana is sensor na once na ma-detect na movement, bisiga na dayon. So sensors detect the change in the environment and responds to some output on the other systems. It also converts a physical phenomenon into a measurable analog voltage or sometimes a digital signal, converted into a human readable display or transmitted for reading or further processing. Sensors indeed make things easier for us to measure, especially those intangible things that surround us. So there are, next slide. So there are different types of sensors, thermocouple, RTDs, and thermosistors. These are sensors used for measuring temperature. Mauni silang example na ko ganina katong thermocouple, kanang naa sa first na picture, ng RTD kanang nasa center. Strain gauge is a sensor that measures strain on an object. Example, pressure, tension, weight, and more. Next is load cells. This device is used to measure weight and load. Next is the LVDT sensors. It is used to measure displacement or distance. Accelerometers measures vibration and shock. Microphones for capturing sound waves. And current transducers for measuring AC or DC current. Next slide. So voltage transformers. It is used for measuring high voltages potential. Optical sensors used to detect light, transmit data, and replace conventional sensors. Camera sensors used to capture singles and continuous 2D images. Digital sensors used for discrete on-off counting, linear, and rotary encoding, position measurement, and etc. Positioning sensors, GPS, used to capture the longitudinal, latitudinal position based on GPS, GLONASS, and other satellite positioning systems. And different GPS sensors with different accuracy are available. Next.
Classification of sensors. First classification is active and passive sensors. Active sensor is requires an external excitation signal or a power signal. Active sensor provides its own energy source for illumination. Example of this is radar satellite. The radar satellite sends a signal down to the Earth's surface and wait for it to bounce back up to receive the signal back, and And the formation of these signals allows it to generate an image that is an active sensor. Second is passive sensor. Do not require any external power signal and directly generates output response. Passive passive sen- passive sensors remote sensing sensor is one in which measure energy that is naturally available to it. For example of this is camera. The red, green and blue spectral bands are naturally coming into the camera. And next sensor a classification is based on the means of detection used in a sensor. Some of the mean of detection are electric. Some of the examples are electric, biological, and chemical, radioactive, and etc. Third classification is based on conversion phenomenon, that is the input and the output. Some of the common conversion phenomena are pl- plato electric and thermoelectric sensor. The input will be temperature and the output will be electrical quantity. And next is electrochemical. Electrochemical signal input will be chemical changes and output will be electrical quantity. So the chemical changes measured in terms of electrical quantity. And the third is thermo-optic. The input will be temperature and the output will be in terms of light. And fourth classification is analog and digital sensors. Analog sensors produced an analog output that is continuous output signal, usually voltage but sometimes other quantities like resistance, etc. With respect to the quantity being measured.
So, hello guys, good day. So, my name is Christian Ortaya. So, I'll be discussing transducer. So, transducer is a device that hello. Balik ko. Good day everyone. My name is Christian Ortaya. So, I'll be discussing transducer. So, transducer is a device that transforms energy from one form to another. So, there's nine common examples ang transducer. So, kani mga examples is microphones, loudspeaker, thermometers, pressure sensors, and antenna. So, na so naman tay sensor sa akong example. So, pasabton ta mo unsay kalahian sa sensor o transducer. So, ang sensor nga gidiscuss ganina kay ang physical quantity niya iya i-convert ngadto sa electrical form, while kaning transducer it converts a type of energy, one form of energy to another form of energy. So not necessary na electrical form ang output sa transducer. So what is transduction? So transduction is the process of energy conversion in the transducer. So, naay two completed steps ang transduction. So, first is sensing the signal and second is strengthening it. So, as you can see the diagram, transducer na ay input signals, sensor plus signal conditioning into output. So natay input signals ngiri nga iya i-convert ang physical quantity into electrical form. Tas kani sensor tas magbutang na din ta og signal conditioning kani para ang signal ngadto sa transducer iakwaon ang better output ngadto sa atong gamiton nga instrumentation. So that's it. So next slide please. Next slide please. Hello? Next slide. Thank you. Okay. So, what is signal conditioning? So, balik. So, what is signal conditioning? Signal conditioning is the manipulation of signal in a way that prepares it for the next stage of processing. So meaning, sa atong gidiscuss ganina nga katong naay what kanang diagram nga katong sensor makadetect niya or makonvert niya ang physical quantity into electrical quantity. So karon mag-need siya og, as you can see, kaning function of signal conditioning, kaning filtering. So i-filter out niya, amplification, i-amplify, tapos frequency matching niya ang signal ngadto. So so amplification. So makatag og example sa amplification. So amplification, sample, kanang nakapag-generate siya voltage pero katong voltage medyo gamay ra. So meaning di makaya og basa ang atong gigamit nga instrument. Tas atong button is need na to i-amplify para mabasa niya. So second, filtering. So example sa filtering, kanang mga signal na nakuha nato. So sample kanang gusto lang nato kuhaon ang usa ka butang ngadto. For example, kanang sounds. So kabawon ta nga there are many different sounds na nakuha pero gusto lang nato kuhaon tong isa ka certain sound. So atong button is i-filtering. So i-filter out nato ngadto para kuhaon ang ubang signal, tas kuhaon ra nato ang gusto natong signal. So mao na gitawag na filtering. So next slide please. So additional signal conditioning. Additional signal conditioning circuit is used to provide output in standard electrical form. For example, 0 to 10 volt direct current, and negative to positive volt direct current, and lastly 0 to 20 milliamp. So that's it.
So next is the primary and secondary transducer. So what is primary transducer is are generally the transducer that respond to external simulation and general output for that signal, while the secondary transducer converts the mechanical signal into an electrical signal. So here's the two example of primary transducers. So there are Bourdon tube and diaphragm. So the transducers which convert physical quantity into mechanical displacement. Then the force detected by the column in first hence maong ginatawag nga primary transducer. It is a mechanical device. So next is the secondary transducer. So there are here's the three examples: piezoelectric, thermocouple, and RTD. So RTD is resistance temperature detector. So the transducers which convert mechanical displacement into electrical output, convert physical quantities into electrical signal such as resistance, voltage, current, inductance, and capacitance. So that's it for the primary and secondary transducers.
So, good afternoon, everyone. The next topic I will discuss is about active and passive transducer. So, ang kalahian des active ug passive kay kuan, ang passive kay kanang mo require siya external power source for its operation mo na siya passive transducers, and active is which do not require external power source for their operation. Then kanang dili na siya angay kanang kalibgan kay nara siya kanang ilanan. Ang passive kay ma-require din ang active kay dili. So for example kay thermocouple, then makita ra na siya sa shop or Shopee, pwede rin mo order na nara na siya sa kuan. Then piezoelectric nara po na siya sa kuan kung ganahan mo makita sa actual picture na niya sa materials. Then ang passive kay thermistor and potentiometer. So nara po na siya sa kuan, ma-search na po na siya online. Then it is also produce an output in the form of change in resistance, inductance, or capacitance. Then moro to siya kanang kalayan sa duha. Do not required and required. So that's it.
So hello. Thank you guys for so that's it for today.